We're ready, and hopefully everything is
10
looking
seconds
good
remaining.
as I can unmute my wonderful co-caster, Trent.
5 seconds
Hello.
remaining.
Oh, hello.
I've turned you down a little bit. People were saying you
I'll
were a
have
bit
you.
loud,
Reserve
but yeah.
time.
Loud. It sounded a bit loud. I wanted to listen to our glorious conversation a little bit there.
Oh yeah.
Team
Listening
Because of how
back,
great we are.
listening back to you talking about Canadian dollars and hoodies.
Yeah,
and things,
exactly.
but- Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
To each their own. Mr. Cat, we've just started. We started yesterday. One series has been played. NIP defeated Empire, and it's double elimination for the
10
sort of
seconds
first
remaining.
group stage, a little bit of it, and then we get into playoffs later on next week,
5
where we have
seconds
secret
remaining.
MVP waiting for the teams that progress through. So we've got quite a few series, quite a few games, and
Radiant team
it should
back.
be a lot of fun. Today, Cloud9 against Effect. C9, you know, they were looking strong all the way up to Kiev major qualifiers. Had a bit of a rough ride after day one. What about Effect, Trent? How have they been looking?
10 seconds remaining.
Looks like also not really. Actually, they're a little bit less busy. You know, it looks like
5
C9 had been
seconds
playing a little bit of Pro Dota, quite a few like the well play and whatnot, but.
Dire team
They played a little bit of well play, I suppose, for
Radiant
Effect, but
team
both teams kind of chilling for the past 2 months. It seems mostly watching some Dota, not really playing too many officials. C9's got a slight edge there, but their officials also haven't been going too well. So I would say it's probably like kind of hike up, you know, get back into it, kind of swing at things. Season coming up, right? We're gonna have some qualifiers starting for like random lands that are approaching soon.
5 seconds remaining.
You know, it's probably like that last round of possible qualifiers into lands, into
Reserve time.
possible, like some of these teams are just fighting for a regional invite, you know what I mean, to like the TI qualifiers. So that's what's on everyone's mind, and it should be a pretty good show, I would say. I'm expecting 3 games.
3 games, you say? Clockwork first pick.
Radiant
okay.
team pick.
Not something I'm really used to. I mean, Effect went and banned out a couple of the offlaners. Monkey and Tree taken out by C9. Would have been annoying to handle, but like a Clockwork straight out like this, when there are so many other heroes that we're kind of used to seeing.
10 seconds
What
remaining.
does this say to you?
I did notice when I was just looking that
5 seconds
teams have been
remaining.
first banning the clock up against C9. Just first phase. They're just like, nope, not having it.
Reserve
When they do
time.
get it, they've been running it off lane. I haven't seen any of their support clock. Like some teams, I think SG Esports ran that a couple times at Kiev, and it was pretty impressive. One of the games I was casting, they did it,
Yep.
And it worked very well. He had a CM aura though, so I mean, maybe if they want to sneak in like a CM, and then that can make it a little bit easier if you want to run that position 4. But for now, I would assume off lane. The only information they had was a Warlock, and Clockwork is. He's definitely a guy who wants to like battle in that off lane, right? Like he doesn't really want to fall back to the jungle, of course. So it can be a little tough against someone like Warlock just because he doesn't have that aphotic shield or that press the attack to just take it away.
Ooh,
Dire team pick.
interesting.
It's a pretty good option. Someone who could maybe even potentially show up with the Clockwork a little bit.
I'm just wondering, like Cloud9, they either go like aggressive dual lane with the Phoenix Clock, but Warlock isn't a hero that can kind of stand and hold a defensive dual lane
Radiant
against the
team
Clockwork.
back.
You're just gonna die, right, with battery assault and cogs, or at least you're gonna come
Yeah.
out of trades like way worse than the Clockwork will.
Well, you can never get caught is the thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you can also spam your Shadow where there's also nothing Clock can do, and then he can't jungle. So it's like, there's some
10
issues.
seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
there are some little problems that you can have. But Juggernaut out for Effect,
Dire
that
team
does
back.
kind of bolster their safe lane and give them a lot more kill power, as long as they just pick up a stun or another slow or something like that up against the clock. And Juggernaut doesn't get too phased out by cogs. It can be annoying if Clockwork just runs into a creep
10
wave, cogs out,
seconds remaining.
forces you back and like burns your mana. But
Yeah.
as long as you've got spin and
Radiant
your
team back.
your presence of mind is there enough to realize that he's going to be running aggressively towards you to get cogs down, then you should be okay. More roaming heroes banned out for Cloud9 though. It looks like they want to remove every single hero that can bully Baby Knight in these lanes.
What's the last good for? Tusk, I guess,
5 seconds
is
remaining.
pretty solid these days. The Magnus, yeah, he could do both, and they have a Jug, so very solid band, of course. In terms of that offlane mag, but I think Clockwork right now, in terms of offlaners, he's got to be that like the highest outplay potential. Like I've played some games, or seen some games rather, and cast them where the Clockwork just wins a lane he should not have won,
10
but it can
seconds
really just come from that one misstep. Be it your support, you get caught in the cogs. If you're the
Radiant
carry and you get
team
mana
pick.
burned like once as a jug, even that's really gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to keep up your healing ward and your Blade Fury, and then even like once you get approach 6, you want to have that threat of Omni Slash, but it's virtually impossible against the Clockwork. So. It's
10
we'll
seconds
see if they
remaining.
could just kind of take it here. If Hester Joe's got the skills to pay the bills, as it were.
5
Yeah,
seconds
you've reminded me
remaining.
of a time when there was like a safe lane Broodmother and a Clockwork had to go up against it, and we were
Reserve
casting this
time.
game thinking like, okay, they could have picked like Bristleback or
Dire
whatever
team
hero to deal with the Broodmother, and they picked Clockwork, and I'm pretty sure it was Kabu playing it. One of the godlike clock players from back in the old days of Chinese Dota, and everyone was like sold on Clockwork losing that lane straight up. And he kills the Brood twice, farms like
10
4 or 5
seconds
like stacks of Spiderlings because he maxed. And he was one of the first people to go like PMS off
5
lane,
seconds
just like straight up. Then he's
Right.
maxed Rocket Flare and was killing these little Spiderlings as well. It was insane.
Reserve time.
It's sort of little nuances or like you say missteps from your opponents or nice little plays from yourself that can suddenly gain you a massive advantage. And levels very important on Clockwork. Get into
Yeah.
levels in Battery Assault and Rocket Flare, but more roaming heroes come out. You ban 3 or 4 of them, and all of a sudden there's Spirit Breaker and Ricky on your plate.
Yeah, this Ricky's beautiful. So good against the Jug. And if he shows up and just like that slight little smoke screen, a little bit of movement slow, might be enough for Clock to catch up. And of course, if you could cogs that Juggernaut
10
inside with
seconds
Battery Assault
remaining.
going, that is going to be a lot of damage inside that smoke screen.
5
nasty.
seconds remaining.
That would be real nasty. Well, Effect, they've got a lot of strong, pick and push
Reserve
power,
time.
right? They've got Warlock for team fight, Juggernaut for the healing ward and breaking towers and buildings. Spirit Breaker just, mitigates the problems you maybe have from lanes, can carry dust around up against the Ricky. Cloud9, it's a bit more spread out of like what they're planning to be doing. Clockwork can jump in and find that initial jump to get the pick, but Phoenix is sort of a bit of team fight, bit of lane control. Ricky is definitely focused on lane control. Do you think they need to bolster this by getting a tower hitter like a life stealer or something like that now, or do you want to focus on your mid lane?
Yeah. Well, Baby Knight's hero is okay. Get themselves an Ember Spirit. I think probably gonna assume that'll end up mid, but if they really wanted something like maybe Alina, or some other like super hardcore tier 1 mid, that does end up possibly being like a safe lane Ember, but we'll see. More than likely just gonna be the midder, but
10 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure. He works
5
okay
seconds
with
remaining.
Phoenix. I'm not like mega sold on it. I think in terms of your idea of like a lifesteal or something though, I like that kind of a plan here. Someone who works well with the Ricky, someone who can have that decent sustain. Cause it's probably just gonna be Phoenix and lifestealer in that off lane, and we still don't know who that off laner is gonna be. Plus, he's gonna have a Spirit Breaker kind of hanging out with him. So, Cloud9 just kind
10
of saving that
seconds
safe lane. I think
remaining.
understanding that Spirit Breaker +1 can potentially be very scary. So
5
let's figure out
seconds
exactly
remaining.
who it is and then try and counterpick it from there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, feasibly they can put an Ember Spirit safe if they really
Dire
want to,
team
because he
back.
gets slammed hard by the SF lane. Maybe you think about picking up a Viper for Baby Knight, something along those lines. Not going to get too hung
The
up.
classic.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get hung up about being ganked by a Spirit Breaker. You're going to own the SF. You move the Ember, like it alleviates
10
the
seconds
SF
remaining.
versus Ember problem as well, because you can move him down towards bottom lane. Maybe
5
even
seconds
look for killing
remaining.
the on the off laner that he's up against.
Reserve
But
time.
I feel like Effect have the upper hand so far. It's going to come down to like when it comes down to the 5th pick, it has to be a hero that wins you the game for Cloud9. Whereas Effect are just like we can pick pretty much anything we want, and we've still got a solid draft.
Well, if it wasn't for the tower hitting being so terrible, I'd almost want a Timber, but
Yeah.
like that kind of classic, safe lane Timber that C9 run, but because it works well with cogs and it works well with the Phoenix egg, because they all collapse in different ways, and you can like focus a lot of your spells. And unfortunately, though, that could be very scary. If like if you get this lead, how do you kill buildings? It would be like Ricky. I don't know.
Ricky backstabbing the buildings. Get behind it, dude.
What about a Lycan? Is that? I
Ooh.
mean, is that survivable enough?
For C9?
It's pretty weak early. You get chased down by Spirit Breaker. That's the sad life.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, they've got like
You don't want to pick Clanks either because you have a Spirit Breaker.
Oh.
Man, this is tough.
It's a difficult one for C9. That's what I was kind of thinking about, is that their last hero has to be one that basically wins the draft for them. It's not an easy one, and Effect is sort of sitting there pondering, like, okay, what is that one hero? What is that one hero that could potentially crush us? Is it a Baby Knight hero? Is Ember Spirit going to go safe lane for Ace? Like, do they pick a Razor or something? I mean,
All of his heroes are so countered by Spirit Breaker, though.
Yeah,
It's like
Invoker.
his sniper owned.
Like Invoker is still out there, right? Invoker is still a potential hero, but they shout out the Lycan that you mentioned, which would have been a sick one for them.
I don't know. I feel like he still just gets owned, honestly. It still seems sad. The Weaver's... Oh my god, Spirit Breaker is actually such an obnoxious hero.
He really is. But then about Effect, like, what do they want to go for? Off-laners are kind of limited now with so many of them being banned out.
5 seconds
A
remaining.
Baden?
Like
Baden
a pressure
seems
with...
like
Yeah,
pretty good
Baden's
here.
okay.
Reserve
Sanking
time.
is kind of okay.
Yeah, I guess they are lacking in stuns, hey? Sanking would really help out in that regard.
10 seconds remaining.
There are a couple of
Fluster,
options.
Darkseer,
Bring back the
5
off-lane
seconds
Brewmaster.
remaining.
the classic.
Legion Commander.
Ooh, Legion, okay.
Oh my god,
So
Legion's
Spirit-
still in, boys.
Dude, Spirit Breaker Legion dual lane, it's even worse for Cloud9. How do you even stand up
That was
against
the
this?
hero, actually. That was the Cloud9 hero.
Was that the C9 hero that they
It
needed?
was safe lane Legion Commander.
Okay.
That's pretty much what was best left for them.
10 seconds remaining.
That's pretty tragic. And now
5 seconds
Now all the heroes that
remaining.
we were thinking for Cloud9 are even worse because there's Legion Duel and Spirit Breaker to
Reserve
catch
time.
them.
I actually kind of like Wraith King here. Is that terrible, Sven? Sven or Wraith King, maybe? Ugh.
C9
Ugh.
are a team
I
that
don't
run
feel
Wraith
good
King for
about 'em.
Ace. You know, they do like that kind of Blade Mail Blink Radiance build, but it's still a bit wonky.
Man, Ice Frog, why'd you have to go and like kill Lone Druid? He could have at least been something. Now he's nothing.
10 seconds
I've seen a few
remaining.
teams pick him up recently and just go the Radiance build, like, you know, Midas
Have you?
into Radiance.
5 seconds remaining.
Not good teams, mind you.
Well, I'm 3 days. What do you have? Troll. Okay.
I'm
So
not a
they
fan.
played a little bit lately, but I don't know. There's no sniper. That's of course a pretty popular combo from them. The Ricky's okay though. Troll Ricky is nice. That's a lot of early bursts, kind of like Ricky in power. Doesn't really help your Ember Spirit too much, sadly. Doesn't really help your Phoenix. Spends a lot of time inside the egg. Helps Clockwork though. Clockwork has a lot of damage, and he is that damage talent that can actually be pretty sick with Troll Warlord. So
yeah.
Clockwork should have a really good game actually.
Once he gets out of lane. Once he
Yes.
gets out of lane. Where is that bloody thing? There it is. I just need to consult the Book of Pimpmuckle.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Console commands is what I
5
what I was
seconds
talking
remaining.
about. I always forget what the name of that toggle bind directed auto camera where I just press one
Ah,
button
yes.
and then it does the whole smooth hover movement thing around and I'm happy.
Glorious savior
It is-
of Dota 2.
It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
Dude, even I use
I
that,
think
so I don't
we've-
have to do like half the work while I'm co-casting.
Have we been paused or have we remade the lobby or something? What's heads up everyone, the lobby will be remade apparently, but no one's DC'd or left.
And so we wait.
Okay, well, we're loading in. So one of the admins said lobby will be remade. That was 5 minutes ago. So I'd assume it's being remade, but I wouldn't know why. I'm guessing someone's going to say in chat now. Admin has paused the game. Here we go. Remake. And this is where the players start getting angry.
Is this where cheats are turned on? Like, what's happening?
Question mark? Yeah, that's where the cheats are on. Whoopsie. Someone dropped from the lobby. Oh dear.
They did?
Okay, well. Disconnect,
Alright.
I guess. Good.
This is the classic, some caster just accidentally hit leave game or something when trying to reconnect, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I need to go and
Man,
find.
some casters getting majorly bailed up right now.
This never.
They are
no,
welcome.
this never happened to me.
Yeah, seriously.
I've had like Chinese tournaments, like VP game or something, just start when my co-caster hasn't joined, like 30 minutes early. Like, not even kidding. 27 minutes before the actual starting time was meant to hit, and the admin's just gone like, "Everyone ready?" No one answers. He clicks start game. He just didn't care. He was just like, "Right, we're going. The players are all here. Let's get into things." My co-caster was Slash at that time, and he was very unhappy. And
Slash.
He had some choice words on stream, and he just let loose. But yeah, usually if you drop out, you just like, whatever, I'll cast from Dota TV. But we have good admins. Nice, gentle admins.
Wow. So I see that their very last series, I'm just checking right now, Effect ran the exact same Tricore, right? Legion, Jug, Shadow Fiend. Worked out pretty well. They won against
yeah.
Nip.
You are correct. How long ago was that? A week ago?
A
that
week
wasn't
ago.
long ago. I mean,
I was casting that series. God, I don't know what was going on that series.
that with
Nip was
Dragon?
running this Razor, and I was just not getting it, dude.
I don't like Razor.
I don't know. Something's happening in scrims where Razor is winning, clearly, because a bunch of these European teams are starting to pick this Razor hero, and when I watch it in pro matches, it's
This
terrible.
Razor hero. There's
I don't know.
so much disdain
He's
in
not
your
a
voice.
full-fledged hero anymore. I can't give him that status.
He's a sub-hero.
If Ace picks it, I'll believe. I
Sure.
believe in the Ace Razor.
But
Not these copycat Razors. I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, if you don't buy Boots of Travel as your first item on Razor, you're doing something seriously wrong, right?
That's pretty much my opinion. I don't know. Ace seems to know what's up. Era had these 4-minute phase boots, and I don't know. He ended the game 12-5-7, and honestly, they should have won game 1. It was a miraculous loss. It was like actually embarrassing.
It's all about zooming around. I tried the build pretty much straight after I saw Ace do it in one of his first pro games with it, and I was like, this is so sick. No one can catch you. No one can run away from you. You just static link and you chase people or you run away. It is so good. And then, if like they 5-man gank you or something, you just TP to another lane and you continue farming elsewhere. It's pretty good. But not in this game. Not in this game.
Oh, I just realized I'm thinking of a different series. Lol. But anyway.
Same thing.
Same Razor series. Different massive throw series. That was impressive.
All Dota is the same.
Yeah, it's all it's all identical.
Come on. Who are we waiting for?
And the troll.
So are they gonna? What are their roles gonna be? It's gonna be Baby Knight mid Ember and then Ace Troll safe. I guess they don't change anything up, right? So that's gonna mean that Ricky has to like sit mid because SF smashes. Like this is so awkward for C9, which is why I was looking at their like final hero as needing to just win the lane completely. Maybe they just say Baby Knight, do whatever you want and don't die.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Radiant side, right? He's close to the camps. He is a decent catch-up farm potential, obviously, on an Ember Spear. This is pretty classic. He gets dealt the shit lane. I've seen teams pick Ember into OD and still have a decent Ember Spirit at like 20 minutes or so,
Yeah,
it's possible.
All pick.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Wait, does this mean I have to do
But
this thing?
again, those people didn't have a Spirit Breaker who are going to be hunting them down. So if they can get some decently aggressive vision,
Prepare for battle.
the potential is there for them to be aggressive. I'm interested to see what our Zeke does, like right at the very start, just because like you're like who's gonna be better at punching this Ember mid? Probably the Spirit Breaker, I suppose. So he can just kind of sit there, and then he'll punch the Ricky, he'll punch the Ember, and then I guess that means Warlock can just kind of go hang out top and just raid away, start shadow wording. I wasn't sure if he might head mid for a little bit. Looks like I'm gonna try a first blood attempt.
Shachlo, stop it, my dude.
That is
Come
really
on,
loud.
come on, buddy. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. But yeah, they will be smoking up, and Rise doesn't see them. They cut that line very close. The Phoenix is up on top of this ramp. Not leveled anything up yet. Rise looks like he's okay though. Zeke just gets one projectile in from the Warlock. Fair enough.
30 seconds
Up
to
top
battle.
is Noya's Ricky.
Oh,
Venom at the
Sadoish.
ready.
Well, he might not have been looking at his hero. Of course, I'm sure he knows Ricky's up here anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're like dead certain that this is going to happen to you. But this means the Dire kind of have to go and contest this other bounty rune if they want to get 2 of their own, because Clockwork and Ricky, they've made this very simple for themselves there. Baby Knight gets a bounty rune over towards his spot. And yeah, the contest comes in.
The battle
Effect
begins.
knows that they have to do this just to make sure that they get an equal share of the bounty from all these runes being spawned up. But how do the lanes actually look out? Is Roger actually going to sit down bot? I mean, this... Ooh, Trent. Warlock Legion. I can't remember who was doing this at Kiev, but this is...
a lot of teams.
Was it OG and EG that did it like once a piece? But a bunch of teams tried it. PMS plus Shadow Word. You just run at people.
Yeah, there have been a lot of these Legion dual lanes, of course. You know, Coddle dual lanes, Warlock dual lanes. It can be with Legion, it can be with any hero. It's very obnoxious. And that means Sadoil gets some nice early levels. Probably not too concerned about the overall kill threat from Hestejo very early on, right? He's right next to his tower. He, of course, won't have his spin. He did bring the Mango. He's prepared for this lane, but he doesn't have to worry about battery assault until level 2.
Baby Knight's already taken a pounding. The thing is, though, he's in a 1v2, so Alpha Ninja's not getting as much experience as the Ember Spirit. The dive...
Oh, it did clip after.
It did just touch him a little bit there, but... I don't know what it was meaning to accomplish, just a show of intent that, hey, you're not going to get this lane for free anymore. As Ricky's actually moving over and will scout out Spirit Breaker's position. Both of them with Orbs of Venom. Ricky may be looking for the snipe on the Courier as well.
Gotta get those tangos.
Yeah. They're very important. Gonna get the regen.
Cluckles is not looking so brave today. Cluckles is, in fact, Cluckles the coward.
Just AFK at the tier 3 tower, apparently, just hiding away. But it's the bottom lane where the strength from effect really kicks in. And Shachlo and Arzik, there's nothing really that can stop them from doing this. You know, Troll, he's got, you know, okay armor, okay base damage. His HP is relatively low, but they've just got no kill power over them. They're just going to trade farm and see how things go from there. But this has meant that Spirit Breaker's left the mid lane. Baby Knight is equal in CS with Alpha Ninja, but that will change, of course, once the raises start coming through and SF starts getting a few of those souls with an Echo Mastery. But Arzik's caught by Neuer. Ricky gets the Arcane Rune and chases down the Warlock. And now the Warlock's kind of cut off from these lanes. Can't really go mid, doesn't want to go mid. And he's cut off from bottom lane as well, as Neuer's just going around collecting runes for himself. Do they kill him though? They definitely don't if you cancel the charge.
Was it the battery assault, or?
I don't know. Maybe it was.
Maybe he thought he was going to hit by it anyway or something, but they have a sentry placed down here. Rise going to find it first. Oh, no. Arzik with the victory there, and then I think he just went for a tango and missed as well.
Neuer's alive still. Shachlo, okay, Fiery Spirits are annoying. I think there's another sentry over on the Ricky, if they can get themselves across and de-ward and burn that one through. But this Observer Ward from the Dire is scouting out the movement of the Phoenix, and you can kind of assume the Ricky's going to be moving with him.
Man, Chaucer's owning down here. Ace is forced to, like, stay back. He doesn't want to trade with his Legion. He's sitting at 7 last hits. He had, like, a wave come under the tower. It didn't go too well. Just being forced to pull it back so far from his support. And he is way behind this Legion commander.
Oh yeah, Legion is doubling up in CS over the Troll. And they're going to get a pull for themselves now, too, onto the stacked camp. This is, like, so bad. Oh, God. And catapult wave as well.
Sweet, sweet support experience.
And look at C9, they're just, like, gathering around a shrine saying, okay, well, what do we do? Do we try and gank mid?
Nice. He's got a big creep.
I mean, that's
a win.
That's some shrine efficiency there, sure. What, Ace got a big creep down at bot, did he?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
He stole that.
That's big. That's huge. Hester Joe continues this cog spam, and Sadoy is taking a punishing. He's got no Mango and no mana left to actually throw anything out. As mid lane, a few heroes are converging in around this SF. Spirit Breaker's charge lands onto Baby Knight with another bash as well. They've got another raise, the long range one, and that's her first blood. Neuer was in the vicinity. Wasn't able to get there in time to help his mate.
Ouch. I mean, that's to be expected, I suppose, but first blood is a very nice thing to grab onto a Spirit Breaker. He's already got his booties. He's got some dust. That's going to be costly this whole game. And, he's flying it out, man. This looks great.
Look at that dire scan looking for the Ricky. Knowing that he's around and Spirit Breaker wanting to taste that blood. Gets an Observer Ward up on the hill, but doesn't find Neuer's Ricky anyway. But CS-wise, Legion now leading the board, 30-7. And still,
I mean, it's like she's in the safe lane right now, you
Yeah.
know? Like, she still has her shrine. The wave has been close to her tower this whole time.
or maybe the Juggernaut will die at long last. Cogs plus smoke, pretty good combo. Make sure you can't Blade Fury, you can't run away. Just have to turn and fight. Roger wasn't there in time to try and save his mate. The Spirit Breaker arrives a little bit late.
Yeah. Placing down. Oh, no, I'm coming, dude. You know, that actually is the worst feeling when you're support, though. Like, he just ganked mid, got the kill, and he's like, nice, I got some money, the courier's coming with wards and observers, and yeah, I'll be up top in just a second. I'm going to come give you wards and observers for the Ricky, and then, like, your core dies.
Oh, you're dead.
And then it's over, because then that guy's done. Like, his game's like, why didn't you ward up here earlier? It's like, I'm the only reason we got first blood mid. Oh, God. I can, like, feel Roger's, like, silent pain right now.
You're just reliving one of your
like,
pub
sorry,
memories.
Yeah.
Trent Packs with a PTSD.
Yeah, seriously. It's like every game.
Oh, this is actually a really sick combo.
Yeah, man.
Ricky plus
Good.
Clockwork. I mean, you can't charge, you can't spin, you can't live, you just keep on dying.
Radiant's bottom tower is
That's
under
really
attack.
nice, especially now that Neuer's level 3, or got level 3 from the kill on Juggernaut. He can blink into the cogs as well at this point, but...
Just wait till the troll ult is on both of them. You'll actually
Ugh.
obliterate people.
Ugh.
Like, you think Legion has a cool duel. This will be the real duel. Like, welcome to the Thunderdome. We got a fog machine. Neuer's dropping it. It's gonna be sick.
The cogs,
Lit.
the cogs are fog machines now, are they?
Radiant's middle tower is under
Well, exactly.
Put the cogs down and... you've even got an Ember Spirit who can jump into the middle of it, right? You have the mobility to play around cogs, and this is a pretty nifty idea from them. Even the Phoenix. You know, you put the Supernova inside the cogs, what's the enemy going to do? Now that I start thinking about it, hang on a second. This Clockwork first pick, this might be the reason why you were saying so many teams are first banning Clockwork against C9. Oh, hook shot in, has to Joe. There we go, smoke on the Juggernaut. Where do you run? Where do you hide? Well, you dig a 6-foot hole in the ground and you shove yourself in it. Because C9's Clockwork is destroying people.
Yeah, and this is what they needed to do, but it's also just like, it looks like a hell of a lot of outplay. Like, that's, what, 3 kills now, and I don't know, maybe the Spirit Breaker was just kind of unlucky, like, yeah, I'm a support making rotations, but he has full vision. I mean, you know where the waves are going, but he's still getting caught outside of the wards. Just getting maybe a little bit too greedy here on the Jug.
Yeah, he's playing relatively far forward, but maybe they want to move the Warlock up there as well. Jump in from Baby Knight, very aggressive, but the Phoenix wants to come and play as well. Spirit Breaker's charge will land onto BBK, but bounce back and run away. Roger retreats. The 4-man movement in from Effect to try and deal with a 3 from Cloud9. Mean that Neuer up towards the top rune spot will get dusted up, but he's got to blink up to the high ground. The smoke screen is dropped as well. When the Shadow Fiend raises, they'll likely be able to kill him off. No, that Fairy Fire will not save you. A turnaround is available though, as Hester Rotten, he's got this Battery Assault now onto 2 targets. He traps in the Spirit Breaker, not the target you want to get in there, but a kill none the least. For Cloud9.
And Clockwork also owns raindrops, which is pretty sick. I think to absorb one of those little battery assaults, or later on just a flare. If the damage is enough. Hester Joe. I mean, I've seen this guy carry some pretty crazy games on his Darkseer. I can't recall too many insane Clockwork performances. I remember he picked it once during their little best of 5 that didn't go too well against Empire, but this is certainly looking good. But here's the thing, they haven't even done this Clockwork Ricky lately. They've done like Clockwork Sky, pretty classic. They've done Clockwork and a Coddle, probably like a dual lane scenario as well. Alright, here we go. Sentry comes out. Oh, they missed the hookshot top. He actually just hit the range creep.
Oh no. That's not how it's meant to
they're
be.
still coming though.
They've got to stop now though, right? The spin TP, he's gone.
Yeah.
Warlock is all alone up at top. Arzik.
That was tough. He tried to come in from this angle. They like wrapped here, and he couldn't see. I don't think the range creep had attacked or something, and for some reason it had moved over here. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's not going to range creep on purpose, so something happened there.
Just blame pathing. It's the easiest thing to do. The cut through the trees though. Joe's going for a sneaky move in. Shadow Word is forced, and well, Clockwork decides it's not worth his trouble. But mid lane, there's a battle going on to Neuer again. In jumps Baby Knight. The damage output looks good onto SF. Needs one more burn, and the tick will do it. He might even think about turning back onto Roger. Another Remnant forward with his stick charges as well. He's got chains up in one, and he's got this kill. Baby Knight comes out with 2 for nothing. Okay, they lose the Ricky. 2 for 1 then, I guess, in the end. But Ricky's already back alive.
Yeah, I think that's okay. 675 gold, and it's
Sunray, Sunray, smoke screen, Sunray. Oh my God, they've got him. They've finally lose the clockwork. But the amount of time that took, thanks to Fiery Spirit slowing the attacks, the misses from smoke screen, and the Sunray keeping Joe alive, clockwork lasted a lot longer than he really should have.
So they only got 1 kill there, right? And they did 2,250 damage. That's brutal. 918 damage, 724 from the lead, oh, that's the mid SF damage. Okay, that makes more sense. They're counting all that in the bottom as well.
I mean, yeah, Dyer got 2 kills.
Recap.
Clockwork and Ricky, but the Jug and Legion dying is like huge.
Yeah, I wanted to find out how much damage they did to that Clockwork through all that healing, but either way, pretty impressive stuff, man. Still 5-1-1. Hester Joe is gonna have a very early blade mail here and just like 400 gold. Start rotating around, and then you just have like no attack option. That troll ulti is gonna be up, and it's gonna be a nice little combo. And then we just wait till level 15, right? Plus 50 damage. Let's go. Where's my Midas, Hester Joe?
Oh well, they have the duel, the first blink duel of the game. Results in a win for Shachlo, so that's some good plus 10 damage for him. It's the group up from effect though. Top lane, Zeke's caught, and that is a real nasty death. Even expending the hook shot there to make sure he dies. Joe showing his hand a bit there, but with the Sunray piling into those cogs, there's like no escape for you, and then they go to the mid lane. Ace with the ulti popped, and Baby Knight should be able to secure this tower relatively easily until the charge comes through. Shachlo has no duel, but they have the damage. SF Razors secure it, and now Upheaval slows down the retreat, but the Blade Mail is here. Requiem cancelled down. Alpha knows he can't really go for this in the Sunray with the cogs as well. They jump forward in the way with the smoke screen down now. Just need to slow down this Shadow Fiend a bit more, but they've got nothing left to give. And Invis Rune bot will be given over to the SF, but they'll likely just spread and farm.
Yeah, I felt like it might have been a little bit too deep, but time to, I guess, focus on effect here in terms of like why it seemed pretty favorable, at least for a lot of their draft. Thinking about that, like that last pick and what that was going to have to do. We still have the group up option, of course, from effect. They have a Shadow Fiend, they have a Jug, Warlock too, so they could probably start pressuring these towers a little bit. They're just, oh man, Arzik mid.
Yeah. They scanned for it. They knew there was a hero up on the high ground, at least one, and Arzik was the one to show, but Shadow Fiend, moved back into the jungle, so.
And look at this, they just smoke immediately and are oh, is that gonna be small? No, they're coming. They have the hook shot.
Smoke into smoke, pop for pop, but it's the Radiant with the vision, and I guess, yeah, they're pinging out this ward spot. I'm pretty certain there's knobs up there, or maybe a Ricky hiding around somewhere in the vicinity. Roger is being eyed up though. Ace's troll is still waiting, lingering on the outskirts of this. Neuer, well, hook shot from Joe with a smoke screen again. It's just so, it's just disgusting. You literally cannot do anything. You have to try and hit the cog, and can you miss? You can miss on cogs, right?
Oh yes, yes you can.
I'm assuming
you can miss your own cogs as clockwork.
Yeah. So dumb. so like imagine you miss the two hits on the cog and you're like, well fuck, I'm just dead here then, I guess. Moral of the story: do not get caught in Clockwork's cogs. Buy 4 staffs. Do we have any coming
right now? 5,627 gold. I don't know. Is he gonna buy Midas? Like 14 minutes in. You have this Emperor Spirit. I feel like the way this game goes is that. Oh.
I mean, Ace is dead. Yeah.
I feel like the way this game goes is if you're Dire, you win this by like kind of withstanding. Well, I don't know. Withstand right now, but you start to like group up push soon. My God, just try to catch.
Oh, this is a big combo ulti out. They've still silenced the SF, but with the rock dropped, it's Cloud9 that are caught. The damage done, and the damage is done. The 3 heroes are dead, and Supernova won't be able to do anything either. You're talking about withstanding. They did a fair amount of that in that fight. They just launched down their ultimates. Didn't even get the Requiem down because the SF died far too quickly.
Roger.
Spirit Breaker making the noises.
Well, that's not good. So there you go. So the way I see this game is that you would stand this kind of little pressure right now, and then the group up starts, right? Like you have a Jug, you have an SF, even this Legion Commander. You grew up a little bit, you get objectives, you push forward, and then what are you concerned about? It's the split push of an Ember Spirit, even the somewhat decent split push of a Troll, but it's then that pick-off potential of the Clockwork and the Ricky. So how do you counter that? Just be together. You know, can't kill you if you're all together, but you're still fighting back all this like split push and stuff like that, and the game starts getting delayed. So if I'm the Radiant team, I'm seeing that as like, you know, I'm this Clockwork. I'm like, all right, soon it's gonna be very difficult for me to keep doing this. So I might need that fallback farm of a Midas to get my next item. But as to Joe, instead he says, you know what, screw this current Midas crap, this meta. People have, you know, uncertain games they say. He wants that Force Staff.
Yeah, I think this is a great way, kind of realizing that Effect are only going to have one of their own. You know, Hurricane Pike is being built by the SF, and I guess they've got the Blink on Legion, which is puts us some good use down the bottom lane. The Troll gets his Whirling Axes off with another strike down. They've killed SF in the background, though, and Ace is still alive. Hook shot from Joe onto Ace, apparently, there. Oh,
Right.
like
Trying to get
scare
down here in
people
time.
How
That was intentional.
How did the SF die, though? I didn't catch that one.
I believe there were a lot of heroes down near that bottom room. See Ember's recharging some remnants, and now he's chasing after our Zeke as well.
He doesn't commit for it, though. Baby Knight, Boots of Travel Aquila. Didn't go for the Veil or the like Maelstrom Rush. But after BOTs, you can go... We've seen people go Blade Mail, seen people go Maelstrom. Maybe even consider the good old Battle Fury and crit build that we used to see. Shardslow, you know, we had such a good time in lane and a really great timing on that Blink Dagger. Hasn't really been able to accomplish too much outside of that. You know, the amount of pressure and forward aggression from C9 has been enough that Effect haven't been able to kind of just shove into a tier 1 and find the fight that they want with all these big ultis to combo. We saw a little bit of it around the Roche pit with, you know, Rock into potential Requiem, but I think as the game goes, I still like what Cloud9 have. Because if they're able to choose the targets they go on to and, you know, hook, cog, you know, 1 out of the 5 of Effect, whether it be the Legion or the Spirit Breaker or the Warlock, and just trap them in there, make sure they can't get their team fight spells out with a smokescreen cogs. They've got Supernova that has to be dealt with by the SF, and there's not really anyone else who can deal with it, apart from maybe Juggernaut spinning in.
Yeah, that's the real one. But of course, soon the Troll's gonna be the point where he can just bash you up if you try and make that play if he's available, and then that whole idea of that being the counterplay doesn't really fly anymore.
Well, Effect, they are being corralled into one area of the map, but here's the jump onto SF with a golden dropped. Zeke tries to turn this one back on them, and SF's still alive, healing through it all, and C9 dueled up. Noya tries a TP, but another strike's there, and Effect clean up too. They were grouped up.
This is the problem. It's when you go for these greedier plays, and this is just gonna get worse and worse in my eyes, because like the further you get into the game, the more often you're gonna have these just like observer sentry pairs like everywhere, and they're gonna know where you're trying to set up on Effect. You know, they're gonna understand when these plays are coming like that, and they're gonna be ready with the Warlock. And it's not like, I don't think now that Golem's down, you just like hop back as Ricky and Clock and try and do that again or anything like that. Like what are the chances you're gonna be able to do that again before this Warlock's ready to just keep shadowing and protecting his Shadow Fiend?
Yeah, it's super tough. I was honestly thinking more about like direct 5v5s around towers, but I think you're right. The fact that Cloud9 feel like they have this strength and they have the power to go and find pickoffs with just the Ricky and Clockwork, that why not use it? But maybe that one kind of boop on the nose there from Effect will be like, you know, enough of a message sent to Cloud9 to just chill out a little bit, calm down. But then, as you're saying, the farm that comes in from Effect, Sidoi, he's gone from having an absolute awful lane to being, what, fourth now in net worth? He's
Yeah, him and
Troll.
Both in the recovery mode, man. These guys, you know. Last hit's anonymous.
Dire structures are fortified.
Do get a few hits in onto the tier 1 bottom lane, though. Effect, this line across the map where they're able to kind of defend each other or jump into position. Still farming decently themselves. Blade Mail's nearly done for Shadowflow, which gives them a lot more damage in these team fights. And it's the SF with Hurricane Pike and moving into Manta style. I feel it's like the big target that Cloud9 have to deal with. And just one Requiem and C9's damage output is basically gone. You know, they don't do a lot of damage or direct nuke damage or anything like that to begin with. It's sort of all over time through things like this. You know, smoke screen, flame guard, searing chains, and SF drops to half HP, and he's bailed out. He's saved. Roger's now the one in trouble. So Doyle will come in and spin down Noya at the very least. That's a good hook shot though. Joe catches onto one. Arzik is the one trapped inside the cogs with a blade mail. Yeah, healing ward keeps him alive at least for now, but Sudoi is trapped between C9 heroes and his own, but it's again Chaslo who rejoins the fight with a duel and blade mail, takes down Hester Joe, but will not get the win. Awkward fights all around. No supernova used. There was no golem to drop because it was still on cooldown, right?
That was an Alpha Ninja force-staff that pushed him into those 3 heroes. I was like, who on the Radiant has a force-staff? That was a sick play, and I realized it was the Hurricane Pike. So that's why Arzik went flying into that Phoenix. He would have had to save too. Like Warlock could have lived there if he turned. It was just miscommunication.
If he turned the right way.
Yeah. Well, they I mean, they found that second engagement before the Warlock was up, so I mean that was kind of good. But again, it's still just the saving prowess of just even Shadow in that situation.
Hey, dude, look at the net worth graph. This is pretty cool.
Pretty even. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
And then the experience too.
The spikes and the troughs.
Yeah.
Oh, peaks and troughs even. That's pretty nice. Just like, you know, Warlock Golem is used, and then you see like the hook shot cogs smoke is used.
So C9's about to win a big fight. Is that what I'm seeing here? Should be about a like 1900 gold swing. All right, let's go. Smoke up, guys. Everything. Ultis are off cooldown. Let's go. Gotta fulfill the prophecy.
When Baby Knight has his Maelstrom now, it's a lot of damage that can come out of him. The trouble is, vision is lacking here for C9. They actually only have one Observer Ward, a relatively old one over towards bottom tier 2. But as this game, yeah, I see pings coming out onto towards the Roche pit. You know, it's 22 minutes in. Another ping is out from Juggernaut saying, hey, this is the big one that we go for. They scan out in their own jungle, they get some wards out. If they can take like tier 1 top and move towards the Roche pit, this is going to be huge for them.
Yeah, I thought they were actually about to smoke or something when they all scanned like that, but they don't have one on them, so not the plan, it seems. Just a little bit of pressure top.
And they are definitely the favorites to win 5v5. Cloud9 have to pull as many tricks out of the bag as they can, but this tier 1 looks like it's forfeit. Glyph used as late as possible. Nice there from C9, but healing ward's already down. They've got this sustain to just walk up to the tower and finish it off. And Cloud9 will be trying to use that to their advantage. They jump in, kill the healing ward. Noya, hook shot forward from Joe, and in comes Ace, but the golem's dropped. Baby Knight to the back lines, looking for Arzik. He's got the chains onto him. The damage looks okay, but it's not quite good enough. The Sunray heals up Joe, keeps him alive, but one more hit from Alpha Ninja finishes them off. And they've got the duel and Omni Slash to slice down 2 big core heroes, and it's Supernova. Oh, it might actually drop a stun, but not quite. Effect find that kill as well. Ace looks like he's alone with Noya. Ricky and Troll left to their own devices to clean up the pieces, but Arzik and Shachlo both behind this SF mean it is not an easy proposition, so they deny the tower and they will retreat.
Yeah, it's hard to clean that fight up too. Like, maybe if the Ember survives at that point, you might be able to do something and chase them down, but it's not a huge gold swing. It's only about 700 gold for the Dire side, but it is a lot of experience. About 1400 more heading their way. Just because that slight little bit of a deficit that they had.
I've got to get back into the habit of pressing fight recap, because I have not pressed fight recap.
For shame.
It is really bad.
I mean, it doesn't work half the time anyway, so you can just blame it on that, but...
I can just pretend to click it and be like, yeah. It wasn't.
Oh, no, it disappeared, guys. Oh, nice grab by Shashlo. Very quick.
Sentry.
Nice sentry.
I mean, you mentioned it when you were talking about the Sentry Obs pairings. Not just that, but Arzik's been running around like a madman with Roger, even just spamming sentries everywhere. And also the scans. I don't think I've seen so many scans from one team in the first 25 minutes as I have from Effect. I think they've used it pretty much off cooldown to try and scout out the Ricky. The hook shot from Joe kills off a healing ward at the very least, but this won't really damper the effects of...
Yeah, and now they no hooks down. So.
Yeah, the Dire team just sit in the Roche pit. Shadow Word. Heals up this Jug pretty
That
nicely.
egg's coming soon.
Ace is in the mix of things though, and he's taking a lot of damage. One more hit from the Shadow Fiend finishes him off. There we go though, look at that Baby Knight with a blade mail on the clockwork. Clear up another 2. This Roshan is not done just yet, down to what, 1500 HP. Baby Knight misses another chains. Illusion's out, the duel is there as well, and in they come with a supernova drop. I don't know about this one, Baby Knight's dead, and with the tricks of the trade out, Neuer not able to do enough damage with a stun onto Sadoy, slowing things a little bit, and these fiery spirits making sure they can't do Roshan. Cloud9, they lose a lot, but I guess...
They're going to use the sentry to put down the healing ward, so they can go back in, I think. Don't want Ricky to deal with it.
They get into the pit with a healing ward. Where's Ricky? Come on, Neuer. Phase boots in. Heal it off. They've got the charge on him, though. Ricky in a lot of trouble. Sunray's there, but it won't heal him up enough. And this is Cloud9 having to retreat, held between legs, and give up Roshan to effect. So Aegis goes over to Sadoy's Juggernaut. And this just opens up the map completely for them.
Well, the pattern was broken.
Tower is under attack.
Actually, they did get one more. Wait, what? How did that fourth one come about? I'm surprised.
The
Okay.
fourth what?
Fair enough. On our net worth graph, I didn't know they actually got a fourth peak.
Oh, the little bump.
It really did happen. And then, anyway, experience now though. What, 7,500 almost in their favor? Wow, that is crazy. Considering the net worth isn't that different, it's kind of wild how different the experience is. But a lot of that split push, I suppose, coming out here just from that dire side. Not quite next to each other all the time. 12 last Shadow Fiend.
At least Baby Knight gets a kill. Oh, maybe Joe gets one as well. Got the hook shot in. Alazik is trapped. Sadoy can't really do anything about this. They jump to try and get the duel, but it's not there. The cogs were dissipating, and Shachlo did get pushed back at the very last second.
I mean, he's closing in on that fourth staff, and then, of course, that's when Noya and Hasajo will be quite a bit weaker. Especially their little double combo, but I mean, you know, if you start out with the smoke screen on someone and they're forced to four staff out of that, then you immediately get them into cogs, which is definitely a very real possibility, then you're just not going to have enough four staffs to deal with that. So it just comes down to mechanisms and skill.
Good luck trying. Sadoy is instantly silenced top. Of course, he's got Aegis. Aegis runs straight on in, head first with a duel out from Shachlo. They aim onto Troll, but Sadoy doesn't have the damage to do this, and they give the win over to him. Ace will take that gladly. Requiem's going to come out here, but Baby Knight traps with the Searing Chains. And the Supernova in the back. This is Cloud9. They're winning this team fight. Shadow Fiend's dead, and Rogers on the retreat as well. Sadoy finally gets the Omni Slash out, but this is going to kill off two. Neuer as well as BBK dead, and Ace turns the fight. Rogers back into this, but with a Sunray there, and they miss chance over on them. It looks like Sadoy will finally clean up another. Rise, how do you escape? You've got no TP, you've got no way to get away.
I was supposed to say, by the way he stopped moving, that looked like when you try and dive TP, and then he's like, oh, I don't have a TP. I don't know. But, nah, he just couldn't find his way out of that one. And his Midas is even off cooldown. Ooh. 16, 22. Man, that fight looked terrifying. Legion went in expecting, I think, the Jug to be able to reach with the Omni Slash, and then there would be like this quick explosion, but then Sadoy has a spin through, so he's not outputting his full damage once he gets to the duel, and then of course there's this massive level 4 Sunray, which was doing a lot of work that fight.
And then C9 turn 3 heroes around and just, you know, dogpile into the duel as well.
Yeah.
I thought C9 had that. I honestly did. Like, their spell, like, this is the thing. I think they executed that fight near enough to perfection. You know, they caught one on the back end, they killed one, they got the Aegis down, they killed the SF before he could really do too much. But Juggernaut with, I guess it was just the Juggernaut with Aegis coming back to life, and there were so many low HP Cloud9 heroes that he was able to just do whatever the hell he wanted with them. But now, it's going to be the 5v5 without Aegis, Supernova on cooldown for 20 seconds. In effect, they've got the Golem. That's another big thing that they weren't holding on to in the other fight. They have this chaotic offering.
They got scanned.
You're right, they did, Trent. And Neuer gets dusted. Tricks of the trade takes him out of this land. Don't know if he can jump. He does. He blinks back to his teammates. Ryan's helped out with the Sunray there. The hook shot catches in onto Arzik. He needs to reposition to try and land his chaotic offering, but it's just a jump away. They disengage. Cloud9, they are getting the hell out of here. Sadoy wants to find someone to slice him up, but they're looking for Rise on the back end as well. They split their efforts, and in the end get nothing for it.
Very nice team play from Effect there, though. Like, Arzik gets trapped in there, and immediately he gets forced out by FNinja. Because Arzik is still not done. He's almost there, and he'll be able to help himself, but it was within, like, a second that he was immediately bailed out by a Shadow Fiend. So just keeping their eyes on Arzik, they know that he's the guy with the big target on his back from this Clockwork.
Aim Warlock. Kill Warlock, please.
Yeah.
It's not just the chaotic offering though. It's freaking Fatal Bonds. Honestly, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fatal
I mean, the
Bonds
heal's
with-
done so much for them too.
That's true. I'm just thinking like Fatal Bonds with Omni Slash, Duel, and Requiem Razors.
Yep.
Effect have a lot of spread damage. Well, Rise is Midas starting to pay off, up to 1,800 gold or so. Also went for the 150 gold per minute. Talent as a hook misses there. Zeke returns the favor with the upheaval. Yeah, what up? Shushler's trying to find the target, but might walk into danger. Neuer is here and scouts him out. Sadoy's in the back end as well, looking for this. The rocket flare giving a bit of vision. Effect seem scared off, at least from that point of attack, so they'll go for the more manual route.
And Sadoy has his Blink Dagger now too, so always a good item on Jug, but fantastic this game, of course, just to get into the right spot. If you can manage to avoid these flares and whatnot and keep it ready, getting your way to the egg quickly, even just for like a quick spin blow up, or more importantly, just jumping over cogs is
Oh, they
so
have
handy.
Reveal. They've seen Neuer, and they've got the charge onto Ace. There's the golem dropped with a duel as well, and well, Omni Slash looks like it's going to clear up the troll. Oh, not quite just yet. Ace BKBs and turns with the Requiem down. And the right clicks through. The kill off 4, and Legion was the only one to die here for Effect. Baby Knight's the last man standing, and it's just 4 guys with illusions and golems and all of the entire freaking zoo here from Effect going up onto high ground to take a tier 3. This is exactly what you said like 15, 17 minutes in, whenever it was, pre-20 minutes. Cloud9, you're finding the picks, you're finding these nifty little plays and ways to, outmaneuver Effect. But as soon as the brute force comes through, it's just too strong.
Yeah, it is very tough. You have to execute so well. Like, this really does look like one of those kind of ease of execution drafts in a way. Not to say that Effect haven't played very well. I think they've made some big plays that have helped them because C9 are executing at a pretty high level in terms of, I think a lot of these initiations looked pretty good from them. I haven't seen like a mega botched one. Even that last one, Hetsa Joe got a really nice initiation with nothing but Force Staff because he didn't have his hook shot. Had he had his hook shot to follow up there, might have looked a little bit better, but of course he missed that one on our Zeke, and then it was still on cooldown from there. So just small mistakes starting to add up from Cloud9, it looks like, and that's, Effect, you're playing the Shadow Fiend. He's got this massive don't even press a button minus armor aura, which is pretty handy when your Jug outputs all this physical damage, so it's just slightly easier things to make work for your heroes.
I thought maybe Roger gets caught there. Hester Joe was just like almost lining up the hook shot and waiting for it, but C9 seemed a bit timid. I was impressed with kind of how strong this troll has become. He's surviving through duels. That is the first thing. But we've yet to... Oh, goodbye. See ya! Effect. You take a lane of racks and you all DC. Fair enough. But yeah, we've yet to see a big, proper combo from Effect. Everything has kind of been piecemeal, little by little, like, okay, if we need to use it, we'll use it. But that's mainly because Cloud9 have never kind of met as a 5-man unit clashing in. But just imagine a duel into Requiem with Fatal Bonds, with Omni Slash. All of these pieces of Effect fit together so nicely. And you were talking about ease of execution. Cloud9, it's like, okay, we kind of have to hookshot, smokescreen the Warlock, kill him, and then see how things go. See how things progress and where they move on from there. I don't think it's easy to algorithmically plan your team fight as Cloud9. It's just like, right, this is part A of said plan. Parts B through Z are unknown until part A is complete. It's just like almost like half-blind plan.
It's very chaotic too. I feel like whenever Spirit Breaker, the game is chaotic. This guy just, if he's not part of your initial initiation as C9, he just comes out of these trees and he goes through 3 of your heroes, and you're waiting for this follow-up spell that never comes.
I popped the Lincolns of Baby Knight.
Oh!
But he remnants straight through into the charge, apparently. Alpha Ninja's killed off one in the back, but we'll watch Roger jump in onto the Phoenix Rise. Is caught. He doesn't have his dive. He's got Supernova, but he's bashed up before he can even think about popping it if he wanted to. And that is Cloud9 losing 2 heroes very, very quickly. They keep Baby Knight alive, but still, Effect can look to take down shrines, move into tier 2s, or in 50 seconds time. Perfect for them. Mr. Roshan is alive.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah, they
is
can
under
show mid.
Dire's middle
Heroes will be
tower
back, of
has
course,
been denied.
for the Radiant. So they have a shot at it. They have some pretty good AoE heroes, right? The Riki, the Phoenix, Clockwork, even. You know what? Actually, all 5 are pretty damn good at fighting near the Roche pit. You have high mobility heroes. You have big AoE ultis, or just like big miss chance from Ace can make some big plays happen there. And of course, everyone's just overall increased damage.
Oh, they pop the Lincolns, but maybe nice quick. Slides of fist and Remnant away.
I've seen finger throws in the past 4 days.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Same.
This one is definitely not over. I had like a 22k lead that there's no way they should have lost, and they lost. So possibilities are there.
They definitely are, and we've seen Cloud9 outplay Effect previously this game already. They have the ability. Just will Effect allow them to get there? This tier 2 dropping. A nice boost of gold across to them, but more importantly, they can just back up and, if not kill Roshan, bait out Roshan, or farm their jungle, just utilize this map to their pleasure, because C9 are the ones that have to smoke out of their base under observer wards, which have been placed down all across this map. Like, you see this, just like this freaking Maginot. It's like the Maginot line of observer wards. Where do you go? There's trenches everywhere. If you want to smoke to come towards Roshan, you have to smoke under one of our wards, or you do it in your fountain. As Roshan's taken, Joe is killed. With buyback, you might have to use this because the high ground push is inevitably coming from Effect.
Yeah, that was that ward vision. Sets up an easy kill. We got
Very
Ace
easy.
just kind of chilling. He's got everything ready. I guess everything is online, right? And we have level 3 Egg just cracked and level 18 for Rise.
Don't know what Baby Knight can do. They smoke behind him, but I think that was seen. Pretty sure that was seen. Sleights of Fist will do a bit of chip damage away to Effect, but they've taken tier 3. And there's nothing actually stopping them. No glyph ready for C9. This Rax is going to drop slowly but surely. Noya jumps into the back, but the jewel in the front. That's where they aim for. The shrine is ready, but they're not going to use it. The rock is dropped and Baby Knight's caught with a Requiem and the Omnislash finishing him off. Effect will find yet another lane of Rax with some huge kills for them, but Shadow Fiend, Aegis in hand, stands his ground inside the cogs. The smoke screen is there. He doesn't have a Hurricane Pike or a BKB, and now he's surrounded by C9, so I think they'll give him away. But Melee Rax died. Not a full lane for Effect, but still more structural damage done.
Yeah, and it's the ones that count, right? The melee, the tier 3, so pretty pleased when you snag up 3 buybacks on top. Mind you, they got a nice chunk of experience for the Radiant. Of course, isn't really getting anyone anywhere special. Got some Riki up to level 18. Phoenix gets up to level 20. But nothing game-winning coming out there. Of course, that's not often that happens from experience.
Cloud9 seem to want to go and do some structural damage of their own, or at least force a buyback from the Shadow Fiend. I don't think Shachlo will be willing to press that button with only 13 seconds left to respawn, but here they come.
Oh, there's no glyph. Okay.
Cloud9, no glyph. Fatal Bonds is used. Baby Knight clears through the creep wave. They've taken a tier 3 here, Trent. They're looking for Rax potentially as well. Shadow Fiend, 40 seconds. Legion's alive. This could start
you need
getting
a tower
dangerous.
hitter, that 5th pick. Why not make everyone a tower hitter, right?
I mean, fair enough, but in comes the overwhelming odds, and Noya is obliterated with a jump in and a duel onto Troll. His BKB is doing work. He's turned around to kill him. Oh, down goes that Legion commander, but SF arrives. 1, 2, 3 punch, and down goes Troll with Rise. Supernova dissipating in the background. No buybacks on your Troll or your Phoenix here, and that's why Legion jumps straight back into the living. They want to finish this game, and they want to finish it now.
This is a pretty bold buyback. I guess, yeah, they're just gonna try and end it, but... Alright, I can dig. You got 2 lanes, I suppose, might as well.
That's the thing, right? You kill one of these heroes and the game literally just ends. No duel there, 5 seconds on cooldown for Shachlo. They move in through the middle lane and go up towards top as well. Juggernaut's hitting tier 3. Riki did have a buyback. Baby Knight gets a snipe on the ward. But Joe has put himself into a pretty sticky situation with Neuer getting slammed down by the SF, and this Blade Mail doing nothing for Joe. Baby Knight might get caught as well with a Blink Duel from Jadlow. GG is called. Game number 1 goes the way of Effect, and that was relatively simple from the 20-minute mark onwards.
Yeah. Man, you really can't ask for much more to your Clockwork, though. In that early game, of course, you were devoting a lot of time for your roamer there, too. So maybe, although Baby Knight had a pretty good time recovering, honestly. He played very well, I would say, in terms of his overall like farm game and stuff. Perhaps he could have been a little bit higher, or maybe there could have been like some damage a little bit earlier if he had more help from a roaming 4. And never would have been put in such a poor position anyway. Bottom lane, of course, didn't go very well because of how much they were putting that pressure in the top lane with the Riki 2. So they certainly traded a lot to give Hesajo that ability to be that Clockwork, and he really did carry hard. I mean, he was almost the top of the net worth chart for like the entirety of the early games. So. And my problem is you have to like keep that ball rolling. It's not easy to make that work with a Clockwork. You need to like find that pickoff for the tower, and like they need to just get those early game towers. And I don't think they really had the like objective sustain or damage to make that work early game.
Yeah, it felt kind of weird because you could feel these moments where C9 were like, gaining an advantage by getting a kill or pulling off one of these, nifty little clock Riki moves. But in the grand scheme of things, there were always ways that Effect was sort of grabbing that advantage back, and there was no consolidation from Cloud9, right? It was like a bit of a prod and a jab here, but there was no clothesline. There was no actual meat behind their punch to actually knock anything out of Effect and what they wanted to do with their game plan. But best of 3, game number 2 coming up. Let's see if Cloud9 can come back. Maybe they can morph into heavy hitters. Effect. Maybe they can close this out in 2 games. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back soon.